Good afternoon, everyone. This is Pierre Battaglia speaking from Couple Souci in Jamaica. And as we have announced, we are going to do a presentation, a Christmas presentation with our executive chef Tyron Jackson. But before we go there, I just wanted to, because I know that not only members of the Chaines are right now live looking at the show, but also a lot of the couples resorts repeat guests, who have been always coming to Jamaica and enjoy the couples resort. So I just want to go, before we go to the location of the chef, I just want to go and explain a little to our couples guests what the ChainedesRotisseurs logo mean. This is a society, a culinary society that has been from the 1248, when the King of France, put together all the roasters at the time it's called. We didn't have no chefs at the time, or cooks. We have roaster, people who used to roast meat. And that's why the logo was created with those, as you can see, those spin that you use in a barbecue to actually roast the meat for the societies. In 1950 now, a lot of the culinary experts in France and culinary in France, they decided to put together back this society. And in 1950, I said, they revamped the entire membership, and now it is a really international society and international memberships that has over 30,000 members, in different continents, in actually 5 continents. So we are very proud in Jamaica to have our Baillage, and again, it's going to be a pleasure for us to present to you actually our first video of a culinary event on, of course, on a video section. So we're going to move now down to the lower section of the resorts. Couple Souci, as you know, Couple Souci has been part of the couples group for almost 15 years now, and we have enjoyed an incredible amount of business with a lot of guests coming and enjoy all the facility that we have here at the resort, especially because of our spa, the famous Charlie Spa, and of course all the different amenities such as our Casanova restaurants, our Palazzina restaurants that you can see right behind me here, and also the Bella Vista restaurants and the other facility that we have here on the resort. Couple Souci is a location extremely special. It was actually discovered by the Spanish when they come to discover Jamaica, and they found this incredible spot who had mineral springs. We actually have on property several mineral springs that's actually been used for spa therapists. So we really are very glad, and of course we are very proud to have all those facilities that will of course make all our guests enjoy their stay even more. So we're moving along this particular area, and I'm going to actually stand up in front of the main lawn, where you can actually going to be able to see the 72 beachfront suites that we have here at the resort. Those 72 beachfront suites were just recently renovated actually, and they are the prime of our resort, and they are right in front of our beach. Now I'm going to ask Michelle, our videographer, to take a 360 video of this location, so you can really see and you can enjoy. It's a little overcast today, but we have a wonderful temperature, and guests can enjoy the breeze, the wonderful breeze that we have here at the resort, and being able to enjoy all these times. Okay, as you know, the holidays are coming, And I know that's right now with the particular situation with the COVID-19 pandemic, you know, it has been quite a bit of difficulties for guests to come to Jamaica to enjoy their stay. But we still have some a wonderful amount of guests, especially repeaters, you know, that have come back. This week we actually had a chance to have over 120 guests with us, and 60% of those guests were actually repeat guests. But they were able to really enjoy the wonderful locations. And we have, of course, as I mentioned, it's going to be the holidays coming, and we definitely had to do something special for our local guests. You know, our local guests that we this year would like to join us, of course. Here, you know, in Jamaica you have restrictions and curfews, and also during the holidays, especially Christmas and New Year's Eve, you know, we're going to have curfew where you will have to be home by 10 o'clock. So we said we need to offer them something very special. So the company has decided and to launch in a very special rate for the holiday at $299 per night, and that's going to include all the parties and of course the amenities that we're going to offer for the holidays. So I'm encouraging all our local guests that are watching this video right now to come and book Couples and Souci, because you will make sure to enjoy an incredible experience. So we're going to now move in to the locations where actually we have planned this little presentations. You know, we decided to choose an item that is very popular, you know, as a Christmas dish. You know, we could stay on the local side, but we decided to go a little more international. So we have decided to, of course, to do a classic beef Wellington, but with a lot of little addition of the local cuisine. So we're going to now join the Bella Vista restaurant. That is our restaurant that is located right on the beach, also recently renovated. And we're going to, of course, meet our executive chef, Mr. Tyron Jackson. So please, let's move on to that area. During the dinner, during this particular presentation also, we're going to do a presentation of a special wine, of course, that will go very well with the dish. So here it is. We have set up, of course, our little cuisine right by the seaside, so that you can see those wonderful locations. And here it is, our executive chef, Mr. Tyron Jackson.
Welcome, Tyron. Yes.
I'm going to leave it to you now.
All right.
Speak a little about what you are going to present, so what you're going to prepare.
Yes.
And of course, I'll be close to you. And if you need any help, you know, I'm here.
Right here.
You know? So for now, you know, I'm going to leave it to our executive chef, Mr. Jackson.
Take it away. All right. Welcome to Couples and Souci. Oh my greatness. It's great cooking for you again. And I'm sure you might be wondering, what am I going to do for Christmas? Well, guess what? I'm here to provide a recipe for you that you will die for, with a Jamaican twist, a Caribbean twist. Girl, let's get started. Okay, so what I'll be doing today for you is a traditional beef Wellington. However, I'm putting a Caribbean twist to this Wellington. So I'll be doing a traditional beef Wellington with jerk, duxelle with ackee. And of course, you know, ackee is a part of our national dish. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, so first I'm gonna get some fire going right here, because I want my pan to get really hot so I can sear my beef. And then over here, I'm gonna put another pot on so I can get my duxelle going. So the pot got to be really hot for the duxelle, because you want to sweat that mushrooms to get that juice out, because you don't want your puff dough to get soggy. All right, so pot is getting hot. Pot is getting hot. All right, so what I'm gonna do now, this is my mushroom. So I have already pre-made for the purpose because it's not really inside, so as a result I have to make some preparation. So this is our mushroom that we put in a food processor. We chopped it along with some garlic. What could be nicer than garlic? So I chopped it with garlic and then set it aside. Alright, so my ingredients that I'll be using today, this is the ackee. For those who are not, when you come to Jamaica or you watch many channels, you'll see ackee and saltfish, but we're not doing ackee and saltfish today. We'll be doing ackee and mushroom duxelle, and what makes it island favorite is because of the jerk spice that I'll be using in it. Alright, so the jerk spice that I'll be using is jerk seasoning, and on a few months ago we did a jerk chicken, the same procedure for the recipe. You follow that procedure, you can't go wrong. Alright, so now that the pot is hot, I'm gonna put my mushrooms in. Voila, hear that seared? So I'm getting that flavor from the mushroom and getting also the liquid out. Alright, what I've done for you is I've already sauteed the ackee for time's sake. What I sauteed with a little bit of scotch bonnet, a little bit of sweet pepper, some onions, and a little bit of garlic, just like you'd be cooking your ackee and saltfish. So this is seasoned. You could eat it like that, but guess what? You ain't getting any today. Not a time. Alright, so you can see the mushroom sweating. Look at that. All that liquid there, that's what we want to eliminate. So that's why we're getting this sweating. Alright? So in the interim, I want to check what's going on with my pot here. It must be really hot for the beef to sear. So, the beef that I'm using is beef tenderloin, and I'll be adding to it a little bit of cracked pepper and salt. So cracked pepper with salt. Some persons want to say salt and pepper, no problem. Alright? So I'm using the coarser whole black pepper. Alright? Much more flavor for the beef. So I'll be putting a little bit on, and also taking some salt from here. And we got to watch our salt, especially in this time. No high blood pressure, we don't want that now. Alright, and then I'm just gonna rub it over a little bit. Okay, look at that. Alright, now I'm gonna put the oil to one side of the pan to get a quicker sear. I'm gonna rest it in. Wow. Okay, so remember, we're not cooking the beef, we're just searing. Alright, nice color there. Woo! Man, what are you doing at home? You need to be here. So I'm gonna put it on the upside just to get the sear on the top. Gonna do it on the bottom as well. And then I'm gonna remove it and set it aside. Let it cool down a bit. Alright? Get that out of the way. Alright, so I'm gonna remove this hot guy from here. Just gonna rest it. Rest it right here. Put it right there. Alright, so let's check on our duxelle. Okay. Alright, so we see the excess liquid getting out of it. Alright, so now I'm gonna add my ackee. Woo! Caribbean flavors. Island flavors. You know the only thing nicer than ackee is more ackee. Throw it all in. Put it all in. You can't go wrong with ackee. Alright, now I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of salt and pepper. But some persons put chestnuts in their duxelle, no problem. I'll put a little bit of jerk seasoning, which I've already blended the mushroom with, so I have no reason to put anything else in it. But some persons put the nut to dry up the excess liquid. Alright, now my black pepper and my thyme. Alright, so I'm gonna reach for my cracked pepper over here, put a little bit in, and then I'm gonna put some thyme in. You know what, the only thing nicer than thyme? More thyme. Keep it going. Alright, so it's sweating up a storm. Now I'm gonna taste. Now one of the greatest thing with cooking is that you must taste what you're preparing. How are you gonna know what to add or take away? You have to taste. Alright. If it's nice one more time, it's a crime. Alright, so I think it can take a little bit more salt. I'll just put a pinch of salt in. Woo! Look at that. So now I'm gonna throw this out and allow it to cool. So I put it in a wide pan so it cools much faster, right? Spread it out. Mmm. Ma. Woo. Can one Wellington flavor so great? I don't know, you tell me. Alright, in the interim, what I want to do now, I want to get my puff pastries. Get that board clean and nice, wide and pretty. Alright. So if I was inside, I would allow the film wrap to work alongside the dough, in the sense that I would put the duxelle with the pak choy on top of the plastic, but because I'm outside I have to go straight into the dough, but I'll still use the wrap to get it at a cylinder shape so it's nice and neat. Alright, so let me just get the gloves here. Alright, so we got to change them real quick. Alright, so this is what we're going to do here. This dough was made by the pastry team, fabulous dough. Alright, so our pak choy that we have here now, you could use prosciutto or parma ham, same thing, cut it really thin because the salt has had some flavor to the beef. You could do that, but because we're in the tropics and we're in the Caribbean, I'll be using the pak choy leaf. Alright, so I'm gonna overlap this pak choy leaf here. I season this with a little bit of salt and pepper because whatever you're doing, you still have to get some flavor. Not because it's pak choy leaf, you still want a little flavor, because it's about getting the right flavor, the right taste for the dish. Alright, so as I said, if you were at home doing it traditionally, you would use prosciutto, no problem. We are in the Caribbean, so we can relate to the greens, the vegetation, the pak choy. You know, it goes far away in our culture, so we keep it going. Alright, now should have put the wrap before, but no problem, we're in Jamaica, no problem, man. The only problem is you not being here, trust me. Alright.
Yes, Michelle, this is the wine that we're actually going to present with the dish, so we'll talk about it a little later, you know, when chef, but we want, of course, you to focus on the chef skill there to really prepare this Wellington. Now he has set up his pak choy leaves. He's going to add the duxelle with the ackee.
Yes. Wind is giving us a fight, but guess what? We're up for the task, up for the challenge. Woo! Ackee. Ackee, of course, was brought to Jamaica in the 17th century by Captain's Blight, and it has been a part of our national dish for years. But it goes well with a lot of other stuff. You know, you could do jerk shrimp with ackee. You could do chicken, a nice chicken salad with ackee. Ackee is a flexible fruit. Of course, there's a debate whether it's a fruit or a vegetable. I don't care. I just love ackee. So whether it's a fruit or a vegetable, you can quarrel about that. I love ackee. And when we finish with this, you're gonna love it even more. So now, I wanna set the beef right here. The breeze is giving us a fight, but don't worry. Okay, note, some persons would rather use mustard to brush the beef. No problem with that. But because we're in the tropics, I'm gonna use some jerk sauce. Put it on this, Michelle, look at this. This is a nice jerk sauce, very famous, that we serve with our jerk chicken. And of course, if you check our website, you'll see the recipe from the last shoot we did earlier this year when we were closed, but now we're open, live and in living color. So I'm gonna brush it for a little while, just to give the beef a little bit of flavor, of course, Flavor, that's what we're all about. Getting the right flavor. Ooh. Ma. Alright, so why I put the plastic is because I want to get a cylinder shape when I'm through with this Wellington. The shape, I'm all about the shape right here. Alright, so I will just cut this excess off here. Get rid of that. Get rid of this. Alright, and now I'm gonna do like this. Take it off. Woohoo! Woohoo! Alright, so I'll be cutting off that excess. Don't worry about that in a while. I'll getting it off. So I'll get rid of this excess dough here. Get rid of this excess dough on the side. And then I'll just tuck the edges. Tuck the edges. Woohoo! Get that, tuck in the edges. I said we want a cylinder shape. Woo! My Wellington, not yours, but you can get a little, don't worry. Michelle, you think they can smell it through the camera?
I'm sure they can.
They better. They have no choice. Alright, so what we would do with this now is that we would put it in the fridge to set for about 15 minutes, and then we'll remove the plastic, and then we would brush it with a little bit of egg wash or egg yolk to get that nice golden color. But you'll see when it's finished. Alright, so in the interim I will start working on my sauce. So guess what, take those wine away. I'll be back. Peace out until I get the ready product.
So here we are waiting on our I would say Caribbean beef Wellington that Chef Jackson is going to prepare for us, and we have chosen one of my actually favorite wine, a wine that I have always appreciated very much. From I started my career with the hotel industry, that is more than 40 years ago. Of course, when you look at the shape of the bottle, you can recognize right away that this is a Burgundy wine. It's coming from the south of France. It's coming from the region where the famous river, the Rhône, is passing through. It's coming from a city that is extremely beautiful. That is Avignon. Avignon used to be actually the location where the Pope used to have his offices, and is actually in the 12th century that the Pope at the time, starting of course the creation of the wine in that particular region of the south of France, and of course they have of course discovered these wonderful vineyards and create this incredible wine called the Châteauneuf du Pape. Now Châteauneuf du Pape meaning the new castle of the Pope. The new castle of the Pope is why? Because right beside Avignon, where the vineyards are located, that is where the Pope used to have his actually summer house, and he rebuilt the house right in the middle of the vineyards, and that is why they started to call the Châteauneuf du Pape. Now Châteauneuf du Pape has a very defined way of finding the bottles, because you have the emblem, so meaning the logo of the Pope, as you can see it right there on every single bottle. The Châteauneuf du Pape, of course, has the majority of these grapes are the Grenache. The Grenache is a grape with a lot of color, very distinguished red color, and we're going to be able to see that when we're going to open this bottle. but it's a wine that is served especially when you roast meat, when you also, of course, for steak purposes, barbecue purposes, of red meats, and also for games, you know, like pheasants and all kind of games that you can find in Europe during the autumn, you know, that is October, November. In France especially, people have the possibility to enjoy all these games that I mentioned, and of course choosing this particular wine. And also for cheeses, you know, at the end of the meal, people will definitely enjoy a wonderful glass of Châteauneuf-du-Pape with all the multiple variety of cheeses that we have in France. So we're going to actually ask our food and beverage manager here, Mr. Buchanan, to open the bottle for us. Chef, you okay?
Yeah, man. I'm ready to do the sauce.
You're ready to do sauce? Okay.
Yeah,
so you want back Michelle for now?
Come
Michelle,
go
back to
Get over here. What are you talking about? All right, so now I want to do the sorrel and Appleton rum beef demi-glace for you, because you can't have this dish, authentic Caribbean dish, without some Appleton rum. So I put the rum to reduce, so this is very strong. Don't let the color fool you. Now this is our famous sorrel. This is a seasonal drink, but it's nice for sauces, nice to drink as it is, so I'm going to add it in with the rum. Just let it becomes a little bit of reduction going on there. And in the meantime, while that is getting where it's supposed to go, I'm going to toss this in this hot pan. It's going to use for a garnish, right? So this is scallion, salt and pepper and oil on it. Remember the flavor. Have to put a little bit of salt and pepper. So I'm just going to put it a little bit, sear it a little bit quickly. Woo. Woohoo! Look at the flame. Wow! So this will use for my garnish, which is scallion. So I add a little bit of salt and pepper to it and just searing it in the pan to put aside for later use. Then in the interim, I want to do my vegetables that we're going to serve with our entree this evening. Alright, so pull it down. Alright, so the entree that we'll be using, this is the Wellington, gonna go with a nice sauteed vegetables. The vegetable of choice is asparagus, which is very Christmassy. I use some green beans, which is Caribbean flavors, good with this dish. Some red onion for color and some tomato, and of course some pumpkin. Alright, so I'm gonna saute that in a little bit of garlic herb butter. Alright, put it all in, let it get melt. Alright, so as soon as that melts, I want to add so this is garlic herb butter. The herb that I use is chives, so of course that's a nice vegetable, that's a nice herb to use on your veggies. Alright, so I'm going to put my onions in to get the flavor out. Red onions I choose for color. One tomato running away in it, but don't watch that one, it can't go more than in the pot. Alright, next I want to add my pumpkin. Pumpkin, nice pumpkin soup we have on our menus here. Nice pumpkin for vegetables, worse when it's roast, and that pumpkin jalapeno dip at the veggie bar. I know you love that dip. This is a part of it, alright? Then asparagus, woo! What could we do without our asparagus for this season? Put it all in with a little bit of green beans. And then I'm gonna add some of my nice packed pepper. Why? Wow! Because it's salted butter, I don't have to add salt to it because it's salted butter. So this is very flavorful right here. Look at it. I put the tomato last because they are very easy to cook and they could be eaten as raw as they look. So don't have to cook that very long. Alright, but look at it. Man, I would eat that. I want dinner right now. Alright, Michelle. So, how is our sauce going over here? Okay, switch the fire. Faster fire. That's done. Alright, Michelle, now that my reduction is ready, I'm gonna add my beef jus to the sorrel and the Appleton rum. Never forget the rum. Sorrel and rum go well together. And at this end, you're gonna see a nice complete color, texture, and dish. So while the Wellington is in the oven, I'll be removing it out shortly. You just brace for impact while Michelle get you some information on the wine. See you in time.
Okay, back here onto the main time the chef is completing his dish and make sure that the Wellington is ready.
Oh yes.
Yes, it's coming up of the oven that is located just behind us there. But why again I choose the Chateau d'Oeuvre du Pape? As I mentioned, it's really a wine that is working very well, of course, with any kind of meat, and it's easy to drink. He has this wonderful color, and I'm going to ask Mr. Buchanan to come and pour some of this wonderful wine. He just opened the bottle a few minutes ago, and you can see that the core is nice and dry, meaning that the wine is well sealed, and I'm sure that the flavor of the wine is there, like when a wine is well preserved. This is a pretty young version of the Chateau d'Oeuvre du Pape. It's a 2018, but you can see, of course, the fabulous color of the rubbing color of the Burgundy wines, and of course, when you have a chance to experience this wine, they're definitely telling you a lot in regards to the aromas of a fruity wine and very strong in tamics too. So I'm going to enjoy a little bit in the meantime that of course chef is getting ready. Wonderful. So as I mentioned earlier on, Couple Souci going to have a very nice program that is set up for the holiday season. We have a theme night for our New Year's Eve. It's called Island Festival, where we're going to be able to display during that particular evening of course the talented craft vendors, and of course musicians, local musicians, and of course chefs is going to have a variety of dishes that he's going to present during that evening, and we're looking forward for to a great evening based on the circumstances, but we're going to be at the hotel with all the protocols in place, so you can feel well safe. We will definitely take care. One of the strengths actually of the hotel industry has been able to put so many different protocols in places, and of course all our guests, when they come here, they feel extremely safe, and for us to have the ability, of course, to serve them and of course to offer them a special evening and special holidays like we have planned. So the entire team is well dedicated for that, and we definitely want to do a good job. So we go back to to Chef,
yes,
who is going to give you a little more into the special Wellington.
Yes, so back at you live and in living colors. All right, so here what we want to do now, this would be ready to get into oven purpose or oven readiness. So what we want to do first is we want to brush it with some egg wash here. So that's what we would do. All right, so we would brush it, so just give it a nice finishing when it's done. And you can play around with design for the Wellington. You could do your own little personal design that you like, that would do very well while the egg just coat it properly. Go around there. Wow, look at the brush here. Look here, suitable for camera. So remember, this dish, you can play around with it. You can put your little own twist, you can put your own little style, whatever it is you choose to do, but just ensure that the flavors are there. That's what is important. So I'm going to make a little design and just mark it in the center, and then I'm going to do like this, something like a leaf maybe. As I said, you can play around, do your own little thing. play around. Alright, so in the next 5 minutes we have the red one coming for you, and I'm gonna plate it and you're gonna see how juicy it is and how nice it is. Wow. And then now, last but not least, what you could do is that we would put a little bit of salt on the outside just to ensure that when you cut it you get that nice crackle and crusting from the puff pastry itself. Alright, so this would be your finished Wellington, but the tasting one is coming right now. So guess what, the wine to go with this Wellington, Mr. Bataglia gonna shed a little bit more light on that lovely wine as I cut and plate shortly. Alright,
Okay, back here with my Chateauneuf du Pape. Actually, is also done also on white wine. But the most, of course, the most important Chateauneuf du Pape are in red wine, and we actually have three suppliers who actually creating the Chateauneuf du Pape in that particular regions. So we have chosen one very particular one that we are very familiar with, that is La Vigne de Pasquier, and he is famous, of course, also for his Côte du Rhône, and of course you can always try to get those wine with Arosa Limited, that is actually a co-sponsor of this particular show today, and of course purchasing this wonderful wine that you will be able to accompany with this wonderful dish that chef is preparing for us. Back to the hotel, we have been preparing ourselves, for this holiday with the team. It has been a very difficult time, because of the occupancy not being what we normally have, and but as I said, I encourage everybody to come to join us for the holiday, because we will be ready for you. So here, chef has received the Wellington that was just done.
Yes.
So I'm back to him.
back to me, come on over here, and don't let me come and get you out there. All right, so now before we slice the Wellington, I want to plate the veggies. So I'm using asparagus, a little bit of green beans, some people say string beans, no problem. All right, so I put it right there. Pumpkin. The only thing nicer than pumpkin is Halloween pumpkin, but guess what, pumpkin is pumpkin. Very good. All right, so we're gonna do that, just two, and then I'm gonna put a little bit of cherry tomato right there. I'll say 3 cherry tomatoes. Wait, then we're gonna slice. All right, so this was beautifully presented. Wow. Woohoo! All right, so wow, look at that. See, some person would like it as done as this, some would prefer it a little bit more done, but guess what, it's tender. That's much I can tell you. Work the knife, serrated edge knife, very good to cut into it. Woo! All right, so now I want to put the sauce. I'm gonna do it a little like this. I'm gonna put the sauce on a plate like here. Look at that red sorrel Appleton jus going right there. Right, and now turn the camera like this. Wow. Capture that. For those who like it more done, you can do it more done, no problem with that. It's all up to you. Alright, now I'm going to put a little scallion. Okay. Just going to this is your Wellington. Succulent. So traditional beef Wellington with a Caribbean twist. So inclusive of jerk, ackee and mushroom duxelle. Finished with a lovely sorrel and Appleton beef jus. And this dish, I tell you, you need to come to Souci, because I believe right now we are the only one enjoying these lovely recipes and food while you're sitting home. So guess what? Come down. You hear me? Come down to Jamaica. And guess what? Happy, merry, happy holidays. And see you when I see you, and that's sooner than soon. Alright, so guess what? Chef Jackson here, I'm out. It was a pleasure.
Fabulous, Tyron. Yeah, excellent job, and I'm going to be the one who can enjoy this fabulous piece of Wellington. Look at that, perfectly cooked, pink as it's supposed to be.
Oh, yes.
And of course, you know, I'm going to enjoy it so much. So I'm going to cut a piece of the meat right here with the duxelle and the ackee, and enjoy. Fabulous. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure to have you here at Souci, at Couple Souci today. Vive la Chaine! Happy holidays! See you soon. Goodbye.
Peace out.